Acts of the Apostles, chapter 24. Today, I want to invite you to join me on an exploration of a chapter packed with drama, integrity, and powerful lessons. Here we find Paul, the apostle, standing before one of the highest authorities of his time, defending not just himself, but the very essence of the faith he carried. As we walk through this chapter, we will uncover what it means to be steadfast, why truth matters even when it's inconvenient, and how to trust in divine timing that shapes our character. Let's dive deep into this pivotal moment in history and see what it can teach us about courage, faith, and integrity in the face of opposition. Let's jump in. Paul's trial before Governor Felix. So this chapter begins with Paul, the apostle, being brought before Felix, the Roman governor. Accompanying him are Ananias, the high priest, some elders, and Tertullus, a skilled lawyer hired to present their case. Now Tertullus starts with an elaborate introduction filled with flattery and praise for Felix. He praises him for the peace and reforms that he has brought. Then he accuses Paul of being a troublemaker, inciting riots among the Jews throughout the Roman Empire, and leading the so-called sect of the Nazarenes. He even claims Paul attempted to desecrate the temple. Now, consider this. This opening scene is striking for several reasons. It shows how flattery and false accusations are used to influence power. And the religious leaders, despite their position, are willing to compromise their integrity to achieve their goals. Now, Paul's situation here is an important reminder that following the path of truth may put us in direct conflict with those who use manipulation for personal gain. It's a call to remain steadfast and not be swayed by the tactics of those who seek to undermine us. Paul's calm and rational defense. So when it's Paul's turn to speak, he does so with respect, but without compromising the truth. He starts by acknowledging Felix's authority and experience, stating that he gladly makes his defense. Paul clarifies that he has only been in Jerusalem for 12 days, a fact that directly undermines the accusation that he had ample time to stir up widespread trouble. He states that he did not argue with anyone in the temple or incite a crowd in the synagogues or the city. Instead, he explains that he follows the way, which his accusers disparage as a sect, but is, in fact, the fulfillment of the same Jewish faith they claim to defend. So consider that. That's amazing. You know, Paul's method of defense is a masterclass in responding to opposition with truth and composure. He does not attack his accusers or try to match their rhetoric. Instead, he presents clear facts and appeals to common ground by emphasizing his shared belief in God and the resurrection of the dead. This teaches us that in moments of conflict, maintaining a respectful demeanor and focusing on the truth can be far more powerful than being drawn into confrontation or deceit. You know, Paul's approach encourages us to be articulate and unwavering in defending our beliefs, even when facing powerful opponents. Felix's Interest and procrastination. So, after hearing Paul's defense, Felix's reaction is complex. He is familiar with the way and seems intrigued by Paul's case. He decides to adjourn the proceedings, saying that he will wait for the commander Lysias to come and provide more insight. However, in reality, Felix's decision is rooted in indecision and political maneuvering. He keeps Paul under guard, but allows him some freedom, permitting his friends to visit and care for him. This suggests that Felix is caught between wanting to appease the Jewish leaders and being curious about Paul's teachings. So, over time, Felix regularly calls for Paul, hoping that Paul will offer him a bribe for release. Paul, however, stays true to his values and never succumbs to bribery. Consider that. It's beautiful. It's also challenging for Paul. Felix's behavior is a vivid illustration of what happens when people know the truth but choose not to act on it. His inaction serves as a warning that awareness without action leads to stagnation and moral ambiguity. Felix represents those moments in our lives when we know that what the right decision is, but we hesitate because it may come at a cost or because it disrupts our comfort. Let us be reminded that while curiosity about the truth is a start, it must be followed by conviction and action. The waiting game, Paul's imprisonment. So this chapter closes on an uncertain note. Felix leaves Paul in prison for 2 years until his governorship ends and he is succeeded by Porcius Festus. This act is not based on justice, but on political favor to the Jews. Paul remains refined and undeterred, using his time for reflection and probably prayer and preparation for what lies ahead. Now, this part of the chapter is profound in its silence and waiting. It teaches us that faith is not just tested by loud trials, but also by the quiet, drawn-out periods where there is no visible change. Paul's patience and trust in God's timing just speaks volumes. It's a call to remember that even when the answers seem delayed and justice feels out of reach, our perseverance is seen and valued by God. Paul's story is a powerful reminder that we don't always see the outcome of our faithfulness right away, but that doesn't mean our waiting is in vain. So, this chapter isn't just an account of a trial. It's a testament of what it means to hold fast to one's beliefs in the face of falsehoods, power plays, and delays. Paul's resilience shows us that true strength lies in staying anchored to our values, no matter the external pressures. Felix's hesitation warns us that knowing the right path means little unless we're willing to walk it. And Paul's long imprisonment reminds us that there is value and growth in waiting, even when it's uncomfortable. So as you leave here today, my friends, think about the trials you face. Are there places in your life where you know the truth but hesitate to act on it? Are there moments when you feel stuck in a season of waiting and wonder if your patience has a purpose? I think one thing we can do is take heart from Paul's story. Let it inspire you to speak with conviction, act with courage, and wait with faith, knowing that the truth and integrity will always triumph. I want to thank you for being here with me today and carrying these reflections into your lives. This is my favorite time every day. I know I say this a lot, but I truly do love spending time with you and having these conversations. It really brings some peace to my heart. I hope it brings some to yours as well. Tomorrow I'll be back with the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 25. It's going to be a great continuation of this story, and I promise you, it'll bring something beautiful into your life. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Come back. I'll see you then, okay? Take care, friends.